Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Klein. I'm very excited to be doing this for Olympic Theater Arts. I was more excited to be doing it in their wonderful stage with better lighting than this and with a tip jar for beer money. But here we are in this odd time. I'm actually in my kitchen right now. And thanks to the miracle of technology, you guys do not get to see what slob I am. I'm sparing you that. On the bright side, I don't have to shave my legs. I know that's shallow, I get that, but not only are my legs hairy, I have a bruise with some like really kind of ghastly gashes on it, on my calf, because I got bucked off my horse yesterday, and when I was down on the ground, he kind of, I guess you could say, he kicked me when I was down as he was cantering away from me. We were practicing cantering. I'm going to show you a picture of him. And oh, that's the promo I did. That's Hawthorne. He is a very bad dog. Very, very bad dog indeed. So I thought I was going to have this, that I can maybe train him to be a war horse, because he is such a bruiser and he so easily destroys things. In fact, one of the things I'm often telling this horse is, you're the reason why we can't have nice things. And usually he breaks something, you know, fences. Yesterday he also broke a really sturdy mounting hitch made out of logs. Just sort of stood there with it still, just with this log hanging off of his head. So that's Hawthorne. My story is that I was with the same guy / married for 18 years. When I got divorced about 4 years ago, and after an interval alone, decided to try the wonderful world of online dating. And it was like the whole world had changed and I didn't even know it. It was like being dropped off on the surface of the moon without a map. And even though that was just my own little personal story, which led me to drafting a book and then getting into stand-up, I feel like these last few weeks have been somewhat similar in that I've never encountered in my adult life so many huge changes in the whole world as this. And I'm just feeling for that strong parallel. And yeah, I've been searching to find that special person, and that hasn't happened. So now I'm just sort of alone in quarantine, I guess. And I don't know who to feel more sorry for, though. Me, the single woman, or the woman who has found the love of her life and now is cooped up with him 24/7, practically. I just have to say, I'm not sure. We all have our different challenges wherever you're at to be. When I heard that, and I also knew too, like, I was like, well, I can't take a chance on dating right now. The stakes are too high. The thought of you know, harming somebody I care for, or exposing myself and then everybody else, it just couldn't happen. In fact, these male models are like the closest I'm going to get to being able to be around handsome hot guys. Yay! Look at me disappear into there. Yay! Yeah, that's a lot of fun for me. That's one of the things you can do on Zoom if you want to. When I heard they were going to be sending in the National Guard, though, my first thought was extremely shallow. Oh, great. There's hot guys that they're sending in, hot guys that I can't touch. My president hates me. And I took it personally. Just saying. I was afraid that there was I would not have any good material for this, because it is such a serious issue with coronavirus. But I'm happy to say that one little aspect of my life that is still kind of normal is dealing with dumb guys doing dumb things. It's just that they reach out and touch me through the internet now. And it's still unpleasant, but it's icky, but they're still doing it. There's the usual suspects with the dick pics. That's happening. There's the unwanted come-ons, you know, sometimes I'm working on projects late at night. In fact, I was working on this one, and my instant messenger lit up and said, you know, "Hey, Melissa, sleep up all night. Want to play?" And I was like, "Who are you? You're somebody that I barely conversed with." I thought, what? I think you have me confused with somebody else. I mean, what am I going to say? Like, tempting. You know, I've just been looking at these headlines from the New York Times about all the, you know, how all shortages and the deaths and stuff like that. Yeah, let's do it, man. Yeah, no, not feeling it, dude. Some of the approaches have gotten more creative because I believe that these guys are, because they're at home in their basements working on weird stuff, like me, that they're like, one was, I didn't know that you can make like memes out of porn and with GIFs that move. That's like, that technology is beyond me right now. And with things like very explicit, with things that say things like "real Facebook friends fuck." I'm like, what? No, nope, no, no. In your imagination they do, but no, no. I would say the most passive aggressive approach I got was an animated hot dog. I never thought I would complain about not getting a dick pic, because I really hate them. But and I want to just add a little caveat here. I hate getting them from people who are strangers. I wouldn't mind getting them from somebody who I really cared for and had that kind of relationship with. I'd probably be stoked, in fact. But this guy didn't even have the courage to send me a real dick pic. Instead, it was an animated hot dog, and I know you want to see that. So here we go. Boom. So, and it was very passive aggressive and sort of acting like, "What are you looking at? You're looking at da 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 da." And yeah, so that's a little sad. I do try to have compassion for the fact that we are all under a lot of stress right now. So people are just gonna, who are already weird, are gonna do weirder things. I often imagine like what these guys might look like. And they look like this, I'm pretty sure. So they're just in their basements being total creepers. This photograph and some of the others with the same background, these were done by William Kidd. Check out his Instagram. I have credits at the end for that, so thanks for that. So that's that. I hear that a lot of people have been shacking up, or right as the pandemic was hitting and as things were getting, people, you know, the lockdowns and the quarantines and things like that. Some of them are shacking up with their exes. Some of them are in like these brand new things that they wouldn't be moving into with, but because of this, they're all of a sudden like living together. And so it kind of can make some of the single people feel like, oh, I missed the boat. And this meme, I love this one because it kind of expresses what I wish that I could have done. So let's see. And me and this technology. Boom. So yeah. Where can I get one of those? That would be super great. I got to take off my shirt for this. Like, yeah. So, and I feel like she got the last one. She probably also got the last of the toilet paper as well. I'm pretty sure that she did. But I do feel a little bit vindicated because of this meme. On the bright side, the only guys getting laid are the ones who had the good sense to man up and commit. Ding! So, just food for thought. I do have the sense of these sort of lone wolf men wandering the countryside, like trying to knock on women's doors, saying, let me in. And then we're all like, not by the hair of our chinny chin chin. And so I think that is a distinct possibility. It hasn't happened because living on the farm with these farmers, they're like tough. Nobody's gonna mess out of here, which is awesome. Some of the weird things that I do suddenly make sense. I am also wondering a lot about the poly people. Like, how are you guys doing? As I have my bra straps, how are you guys doing? Because, like, how does that work? Do you decide that you're going to sort of make necessary trips to each other's houses and you're all like one household? Or is it, oh, that was just a phase for us. We're monogamous now. We're scared. We're monogamous now, so we're together. No more of that. Those were good times, but no, that's done. I just thought maybe that. I don't know. And so maybe let me know. It's not my cup of tea, but hey, whatever works and floats your boat makes you happy. What used to be merely irritating is now serious shit. One of the things that I've noticed in my life, and maybe this is because I just have terrible taste in it, is that when I go to a guy's house quite often, it's happened so often that, wait, I look slutty if I say that. When I go to my male platonic friends, because I'm a good girl, bullshit, their houses, I've learned to scope out their bathrooms because a lot of times what they will have is not enough toilet paper. There might be like a roll with a little square hanging off of it, and that's not enough for me. I need more toilet paper than that. A lot more toilet paper than that. The other thing I've noticed in a lot of bachelor guys' bathrooms is they don't supply soap. They don't believe in it. And so what I'll do is I'll scope it out. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to grab the dish soap from his sink because usually they have that, or I'll grab the shampoo from the shower and I'll grab the paper towel, or maybe I have Kleenex because I am my mother's daughter. In my family, we firmly believe in having Kleenex in all of our pockets at all times. And they were right. For times like this is excellent. But that's something. And now that was irritating to my butt with the paper towel. But now it's like life and death. Like, dude, we're all gonna die because you, dumbass, didn't provide soap. What the hell? And so you have a different standard for what's okay. On the plus side, I quite often have to deal with creepy men who want to hug me. They usually tend to be of a certain age, and they usually have like a little ponytail that it's like scraggly. It really should be snipped off. And then there's not much up happening here. And then the tie-dye t-shirt. And my hair got weird too. I was like, you're gonna look like one of them. And the tie-dye t-shirt and the scraggly goatee, and they're like, you hug. And I'm like, no. And they're like, what's the matter with you? Are you frigid or something? What's your problem? And I'm like, no, I'm just a personal boundary thing. And I have to like friggin' explain it. Like, dude, I don't want you to cop a free feel from me. Thank you very much. I mean, no, thank you very much. Now it's like, they're like, oh, they give me 6 feet. And that is fabulous. And in fact, for the first time in my life, because a good deal of my life, I've been spending time, putting social distance and various objects in between some of these creepers. And now they like are running from me because I could kill them. I know that's morbid, but it's just something to think about. So, it's great not to have to explain it. Toilet paper. I need to talk about toilet paper. And yes, you have been envying what is here beside me now. Again, I come from a family that firmly believes in things like paper products of Kleenex and toilet paper. My mother is the queen of toilet paper. We would go on family camping trips and she would be like, did you bring the toilet paper? Wait, no, wait, just bring the whole package. Don't bring just one roll, bring the whole package. No, bring the carton, we'll need that for this weekend. Granted, I do come from a big family. Not only did my mom make sure that we never did not have toilet paper, and there was always a stash of it, but she also had like a Ziploc baggie with the wet rag in it with a little bit of soap so we could be clean on our camping trips. And in addition, she had it was like a folding chair, except that had a toilet seat on it. And so my mom taught me how to survive a pandemic, or taught us all. She would go, and then she would go out into the woods. She'd be like, don't follow me. Just stay there, kids. I'll be back from the woods. I will be back. Just don't follow me. Leave me alone, you know. And she would go out there with her stuff, and she'd come back eventually. So I already had a big stockpile of toilet paper because that's what you do. And it lasts for like, I'd rather buy a toilet paper twice a year and just have it there. I've also noticed that the kind of person that you always, that's my cat, that everybody in the neighborhood laughs at, the weirdo who has all the guns and the bunker and the huge shed full of like canned goods and stuff in the big garden. That dude is popular now. And so he's what's going on. I almost feel like that guy is like the nerdy kid in high school who grew up to be Bill Gates, and now everybody wants to be his best friend, is what's going on with that. But he's still weird, and I think he's still down there in his little hidey hole doing God knows what. So there he is. So just, but I think there's a lot of loneliness happening here too. This is also by William Kidd. But there are some people who are doing really well, and I think that they're putting a really good face on it. I'm torn between sort of envy as well as a little bit of skepticism, like how real is it? And so here's a little illustration of what that might be, but it's good to put on. I think it's a delicate balance between putting on a brave face and also, being true, because I think we are all a bit scared and freaked out. How could we not be? That's also by William Kidd. I feel so inadequate as a housemaker. I can't tell you. Everybody's gardening, everybody's baking. My garden looks like a disaster. And I just need to get out there and weed. And again, I live on a farm, so this is like, oh shit, true confessions here. And my biscuits look like hockey pucks. Sometimes I feel like this is a conspiracy to make me clean my house. And I had a moment of truth where because I was so busy with a lot of cool things were going on, and I'd be like, all these projects at home that I'd be like, oh, I'll put at the shelves when I have time, and I'll reorganize the foyer, and I'll fold my laundry, and I'll do the dishes, and I don't even want to look at the floor, all this stuff, and now it's like, okay, you could die if you don't have that shit clean. I'm like, oh my god, and again, I'm like, I'm the only one coming in here. I still don't want to clean, but there is this moment of truth of realizing that you think that you're going to be really productive, but actually you're not very interested in doing what you don't want to do, which apparently in my case is cleaning all the things. I do have a fantasy of one day of making, my main objective to make it as an artist is so that I could hire like a half-naked cleaning man. That's like That would be awesome. I wouldn't touch. I'd just look. Just saying. And I might be really old if that even happens, but that would be okay. I would just look. Just like I'm looking at these guys. Those are my toilet paper dolls, by the way. They have toilet paper under them. I've had them for ages. My sister actually knit my sister Erica knit the one with the purple and the pink. And she gave me the other one with the orange. The orange one is a doctor, oddly prophetic. A doctor in a ball gown, because that's kind of a Barbie thing. That's a little segue there. Pets. I know we're all suffering. I know we're all freaked out, but what about our animals? I think our animals are getting sick of us, especially the cats who don't really like humans anyway. And my little sister is a preschool teacher, and all of the things that make her a wonderful preschool teacher, she's very affectionate, very giving, and she wants to pet her cats and pick them up and hug them and cuddle them. And the same thing with her teenage children. And her cats are like, we're allergic, we hate you. We're allergic, get away from us. And then her teenagers, especially her daughter's like, I need 200 feet away from you. Just 6 feet is not enough for teenagers and their parents. So, but there was a little opportunity. Her daughter was cleaning out her gecko's cage, and my little sister offered to, I call her my little sister, she's a grown woman. My sister offered to babysit the gecko, and she was very excited to have some gecko bonding. I can't say it went exactly like, yeah, it just, my sister is so unappreciated by these creatures, And then take a look at her cat. Her cat is threatening. Her cat really looks like it's on the edge. That's Fifi, and Fifi looks like I'm going to kill her any second now. My sister and I both agree that cat food is very much a necessity, because we believe that if we ran out of cat food, that our cats would kill us for sure. So it's the only thing holding them back. Is they're like, I don't want to get in the way of my food source. So there's that. Chocolate. I ate my whole stash of chocolate in the first 3 days of self-isolation, and I'm not even that into chocolate. There was this element of like, well, in World War II, when they were in the trenches, they needed chocolate to survive. So even though, like, what is the parallel between that and me being alone in my, like, small house? Like, yeah, it's just like in the trenches, I better eat my chocolate. I mean, which I am not going to burn off the way they did, those poor guys. So there's that. I've also had to reevaluate the things that I consider to be necessities and whether they really are necessities. So here's a short list: potato chips, gummies, makeup, and artichokes. I somehow consider to be necessities, but I'm questioning that now. Then there's some things that I would say are falling in the gray area. Maybe they help us with our mental and emotional health in some ways, keep our minds stimulated or help us tune out. So horses, because in theory, my horse could be a war horse, and transportation. Maybe not reliable transportation, but I've even thought about, well, maybe I could send him over to the other side if it ever came to that. Art supplies, which many would say frivolous. Netflix, Amazon, those streaming services, streaming music, dildos, and porn. I'll let you decide. Then there's like weird shit that I really tried to resist buying, especially because I went from doing well to like pretty much like, okay, everything's we're not doing so good now. So it's not like I had a bunch of cash, but for some reason I was like, I must have craisins to survive the pandemic. I can't ever recall buying craisins. Or if I did, it was a tiny package many years ago. Same thing with chocolate covered raisins. I must have those apparently to survive a pandemic. gorp again. It's like, I'm like, I need these high energy foods. And I'm the kind of person that can be just fine with getting leaves and vegetables off the farm and having some eggs and mac and cheese, and I'm like good to go. So, but suddenly I needed lots of dried fruit. Split peas, that was another thing. Yeah, I make that sometimes, but I don't know if I need, I don't know if how much of that I really will need. These worked out great though. I felt like these are dates, dried dates, and I felt like this was a very subconscious thing, not so subconscious, not so thinly veiled subconscious thing, was like, you're not going to be getting any real dates, but here you go, honey. Here's some dried fruit dates. And actually, I have to say, these are more satisfying and more reliable. They always show up. They're sweet without being cloying. They're good. So I don't know, this might just have to be the new normal. So then there's the stuff that I really wanted to stockpile that I managed to talk myself out of. I felt like I needed to buy a lot of mascara because that goes bad. Same thing with eyeliner and face serum. I was like, I don't want to look old in the pandemic. I don't want my skin to look old in the pandemic. Like, I might be dead, I might die from it all, but I want to still look good. So it'd be like, oh, what a beautiful corpse. Her mascara looks so good. I'm like, that fucking shallow, man. That's like silly. I also realized as I took inventory of my possessions that there was all these things that I have plenty of, but I don't know why. I have many lipsticks in weird shades, and I actually don't usually wear lipstick except when I'm doing something like this. And I think about World War II, where the women wore these really bright type lipsticks, and maybe they were just out of their normal shades and they were stuck with the ugly colors. There's supplements, scissors. I'm in a tiny house essentially, or slightly bigger than a true tiny house, and I have probably about 8 scissors in here. So don't mess with me. I've got lots of scissors. I'll cut you. Fishnet stockings, which again, really kind of pointless right now. Alcohol. Alcohol to me is kind of a double-edged sword. Because even though I'm a moderate drinker and come from a family of moderate drinkers, I could see how, especially in times like this, that you might want to become alcoholic just to escape from all the horror of it all. And I've known people whose lives were pretty much destroyed by alcohol, so I take that very seriously. But on the other hand, sometimes a little escape is really nice. And so what? You're hungover the next day. You're not going anywhere anyway. It's also a very good painkiller, as well as disinfectant. And I have this like weird scenario, and I guess maybe I watched too many B movies as a kid, but that where I go out to the woods to like probably to go to the bathroom with a toilet seat thing and the toilet paper and the rag and everything, and somehow I get injured. You know, it could happen. I worry about this. I get injured really badly, like my arm is cut off or something. But I have also a flask with me and a sewing kit, and that I could pour the alcohol on the wound, and then I could drink the alcohol, and then I could have the wherewithal to sew my arm back on. Because of the alcohol, I would survive. Like, wow, that's like awesome. I would die eventually of alcoholism or some other natural cause, maybe, if I'm lucky. But yeah, that flask of whiskey could save me, therefore should stock up on that, right? I really feel like my mom and I, like if it really hits the fan, I'll just go to her, and between both of our stores, stashes of toilet paper. That's the other thing. We would have enough toilet paper to, you know, tamp down, you know, stop the flow of any of the blood, that kind of thing. You know, between our toilet paper resources and the whiskey, we'll be fine. We'll survive this, right, Mom? Um, so yeah, that's kind of stores. Going to grocery stores is really strange now. And I've noticed that a lot of them are offering old people hours. And because I live in Sequim, which is a retirement community, I kind of thought every day, all day was old people hours. Um, and I thought maybe we could designate something a little bit more fun. Like, I would like for there to be a male underwear models and their admirers who will look but not touch shopping times. I think that would be fabulous. I mean, I know what would happen. You'd have a lot of desperate single women like me, and probably mostly gay guys who are underwear models, and these guys would be like, bitch, you are barking up the wrong tree. And I'll be like, I'm just looking, and be like, you're a creeper, you're a creeper. I'm like, but I'm not hugging you. He's like, no, no. Um, so just a happy thought, just a suggestion, the new normal. Let's not go back to the old normal. Even though things were going great for me, in my life, there are a lot of things that I think sucked. The fact that you have people who are working full time who can't afford a place to live. Or for many people, if they get sick from just anything, and yes, people get sick and die from many different things, not just coronavirus, that they would become homeless. And here's another thought, like maybe it's better to get to know somebody who they are as a person before demanding sexual favors from them, or to harass them with unwanted sexually explicit content. Just a thought, you know. I'll find other material. Trust me, there's plenty of, so don't worry about me, guys. It's totally fine. Maybe it's time to really overhaul the education system. I was a classroom teacher for 18 years, and that system is so stuck and so antiquated. And yet suddenly, when it was really pushed and forced, big changes happened. And obviously they happened for really sad, horrible, hard reasons. And I'm not even a big fan of online learning, because I know that for children from really poor families who don't have the technology, and even more than the technology, but the culture that supports learning. And yet some of those kids that I worked with were so friggin' whip smart. And we really need those kids, because I think some of those kids might come up with a solution. And it shouldn't just be education for kids from wealthy families who live in nice school districts. Maybe we should value more where food comes from and support our local farmers. Just saying. And just quick plug for Nash's, but Nash's, the farm store is closed, but there is a farm stand only about 100 yards up the street, and that is open 6 days a week. So please check out our farm stand. There is flour and oil and vegetables and eggs and other things too. You can get a surprising amount of things from that small farm stand. Yeah, and I've struggled with this because as an artist, I'm like, are we really necessary? What? And yet I know that for me, some of the musicians that I follow, and their music has been extremely inspiring. Those goofy memes have helped me. You know, being creative is, I think, a good way to help us disengage that fear, because making decisions out of fear is not a good place to make good decisions out of. If nothing else, I think this pandemic is teaching us that if some of us get sick, then we all get sick and the whole world is connected, and that we can do better. We should be doing better by just everybody. It's not like, I think for a long time, there's just been this divide of haves and have-nots, you know, so what? And that's not true anymore. So let's challenge what's normal and let's make it better. I'm Melissa Klein. Thank you so much to Olympic OTA, Olympic Theater Arts, and stay safe, stay sane, and let's explore a new normal. Take care.